My dear people of Ambazonia, my fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement of the southern Cameroons, accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, today, which is Sunday, July 17, 2022. I actually promised to be on the air today at 7 p.m. Amber time, and that would be 2 p.m. Eastern time. But unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond my control, I'm starting late. So sorry for starting close to 1 hour late. I'm really sorry about this. But I suppose next time I'll be able to try as much as possible to overcome these challenges to ensure that we start actually on time. So, my people, it has come to pass that as we had expected all this while, La République du Cameroon is getting closer and closer to its crossroads of history. The rendezvous that La République du Cameroon has with history is getting closer by the day. And because of that, they have become very impetuous. And as a result, they are doing too many horrible things. And those horrible things, my people of Ambazonia, are just beginning. The weeks and the months ahead are going to be quite complicated. Reason I want each and every one of us to be very alert wherever you are. Don't think that because you are on ground one, because you are on the territory of La République du Cameroon, that you are safe because you are not on ground zero. There is no place right now that is absolutely safe. Listen, don't make an error and misinterpret what I'm saying to mean that I'm trying to set people in panic mode. No, don't panic. Simply make use of your brain, make use of your reasoning faculty. Beginning this time, this moment, going forward, don't reason with your heart, reason with your head, reason with your brain in making any decision regarding whatsoever you are doing within the framework of our liberation movement. As a Southern Cameroonian, the first and most important thing for me is to see you alive. This is why everything I'll be saying here will simply be meant to guide our thought pattern and give us the opportunity to overcome the challenges that are set right before us. And for our liberation movement, we have to remain focused. We have to remain focused on Boya, on the objective that is before us. The internecine fighting and all whatnot that has been characteristic of a lot of our action must give way now to a clear understanding that it is in being together, it is in operating as a full, strong unit that we will be able to overcome the trying moments before us. Listen, the trying moments before us are not things or are not the kind of hurdles we have not faced yet in the course of the past 5 going to 6 years. But all the same, it is a steep moment because times change, people's perceptions of things change, approaches change, and so consequently, we too must keep changing with the changing times. So therefore, my people, this is not the time to let the guard. It is rather the time to be on the guard. So settle down as I prepare to drive you into this very important moment of communication. Thank you.
Would you like to make a six-figure income? Well, you have come to the right place. At Venbati LLC, we can make your dream come true by training you to become a professional Scrum Master in just 6 short weeks. You heard me right, just 6 weeks. This may be the biggest life-changing decisions you will ever make. They say luck is when opportunity meets preparation. If you were walking down the street and opportunity walked past you, would you recognize it? Well, here is an opportunity you won't want to miss. At Venbati LLC, our world-class trainers would prepare you for one of the best career changes you will ever make. And then you can consider yourself lucky when you make that six-figure income and laugh your way to the bank. If you are that person who can recognize an opportunity, call us at 240-701-7796. Check out our website, www.venbati.com. We have limited spaces. First come, first serve. Come one, come all.
So, my people, the woes of La République du Cameroon continue to increase by the day. Tension is on the rise. The fears of an uprising like never before seen are rife. It is true that some will say, but those people, what can they ever do? But all the same, they are not taking it lightly. They are afraid something can happen. They are calibrating and are trying to see, even if something is going to happen, within what kind of time frame can it last? Are we going to be able to quell it, that we will manage our situation? Right now, the headache that they have is with fuel scarcity. It is not even just that the price of fuel in Cameroon is really, really high and is likely to increase to almost double. It is that the product is even scarce in the first place. And you can see, as you can see here, these are filling stations, especially in the south. And it's a common thing across the entire country that the people are in difficulties having that fuel. Of course, La République du Cameroon is today victim of its own policy because they felt that we have met. All what we need to do is keep tapping what has already been created or what has already been discovered. Tap, tap, tap until you can tap no more. Make maximum benefits without investing anything. As a result, no time was ever taken to invest to ensure that they explore the kind of petroleum resources or crude oil that Sonara could kind of refine. And so today, even as a petroleum producing country, they export all the crude oil that Sonara refines. And with the difficulties on the international market right now, fragile economies like that one are completely hard hit. And this is adding seriously on the woes of the people. You can see this is another headline. Hundreds of vehicles, bikes grounded over fuel scarcity. This time it's in Yaoundé. The other time I was showing you was in Ebolova. This time it's in Yaoundé. It's everywhere on the national territory. So this is making La République du Cameroon confused. This is compounding things for a country that is even already at a verge because of the longevity of its leader in power and because of the very clear troubles that lie right ahead with respect to power transition in that country. The confusion is even more real when you notice the position taken by the International Monetary Fund on this particular matter. The International Monetary Fund feels that the government of Cameroon has engaged in so much waste over the years, and today, more than ever before, with voices rising from all angles to tell the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank that the people of Cameroon are tired of hearing of constant lending to the government of Cameroon, and so they're unlikely to recognize some of these debts because they believe that a lot of this money being given out to Cameroon is ill-advised. And because of those floods of letters at the IMF and the World Bank, they are determined to begin recovering a lot of the money they poured into Cameroon while Paul Biya is still there. That's why you noticed. I started saying right from January, right up to this moment, that the government of Cameroon was finding it difficult to execute its 2022 state budget. That's why right up until June, most vote holders had not received the credit cards to enable them to start spending the government budget because the IMF simply set in place a system to collect every money that comes in to service debt. And now, faced with serious gas shortages, faced with serious problems of hikes of the price of the barrel of oil on the international market, the government of Cameroon, to forestall a situation which can lead to a massive uprising, decided to continue implementing a forlorn policy of seriously subsidizing the price of petroleum products, especially crude oil. And so, therefore, the IMF has said you must stop subsidizing and take the measures that ought to be taken to ensure a stabilization of the price of petroleum products. Not subsidizing. The money that has to be used for subsidizing must be used for debt servicing. That is why Mr. Paul Biya had to sign this. That is why the Minister of Water and Energy had to sign this. So he said there is a lot of trouble, a lot of confusion going on, and then a lot of fears with the scarcity and shortages. And he's trying to allay the fears of the public that for the month of June, just the subvention alone that is being poured for, to stabilize the price of petroleum products, especially the liter of super at the filling station at 655 CFA francs, they have to spend 80 billion. And so, therefore, he said for the current year, they have established that they are going to spend 317 billion CFA francs only as subvention. But at the same time, he now says, although the International Monetary Fund has decided to put a brake on that, setting them up for a showdown with the people who may get to a point where they may never be able again even to feed themselves, the President of the Republic has instructed that they must go ultra virus what the IMF and World Bank are saying and find money from other sources to see how to offset this subsidy by all means. But now the question you ask yourself is, how long? How far will they go? How long will they be able to get money from these other sources that they are claiming to lay hands on to resolve this situation? And so if you read further, it's explaining how they're expecting 28,000 cubic meters of super, 22,000 cubic meters of gas oil and all not to come in from various sources, from various neighboring countries to help, handle the situation of scarcity. So why am I bringing this? To let us know that La République du Cameroon that we are grappling with is a country in multifarious crisis. And at the same time, therefore, they know that faced with all this crisis, there is a danger that the southern Cameroons can easily slip through their fingers because of this kind of situation. For that reason, they are intensifying brutality in our land. They are going to push poverty to other levels in our land so that with small money, they can bribe desperate young people 5,000, 10,000 to go show the hideouts of those who have volunteered to fight for their freedom. That is why you noticed that in the streets of Bamenda now, the new thugs who have come in are systematically confiscating bikes, motorbikes, that they know is a source of livelihood for our people. Why am I bringing all this up? So that you know. Because when you know that this is their objective, you will be able to guard against this. Because La République du Cameroon has not a single friend in our midst. No. As far as that country is concerned, all of us, everyone among us is an enemy. But in difficult situations, what do? You create friendships of circumstances. As we call them, friendships of circumstances or friendships of convenience. Just enabling them for the time that they claim to be friends with you, to use you, to exploit you, to tap everything they can get from you and use that against you when they are done with you. That's what they have done with a lot of the guys who erroneously went to the DDR centers thinking they were going for the better life that was promised them. They ended up a good lot of them meeting their early death. After they, rather than helping develop them, they transform them to agents that must go show where camps are, and in some places they even do and finish with you there right on the spot. There are a lot of people, a lot of families whose children went into the DDR centers that today they are unable to account for their whereabouts. My role is to say it as it is. And your role is to make whatever use you can make of this information that I'm sharing here. Mind you, the main issue for discussion is still right ahead. This one, I was just drawing our attention to it so that we know. Because once we know, it is definitely going to help us. Yes, just seeing a question someone is asking there. I mean, he's put it repeatedly about 4 times. Mbotiji, I want to tell you this. Listen, you are asking, Mr. Akuro, I heard your broadcast of early this morning. You were talking about asking folks or francophones to go back to their land, and you were also telling the CPDM militants, are you supporting the Frogs Must Go campaign? Come out clear. Now, I want to answer you. Listen, you see, there is something I always call the voice of reason. I'm sorry, let me apologize to my audience for halting briefly to answer to this concern, because it's very important as we head on. I want to say this. As a civil society leader, as an activist, and as an opinion leader, it is incumbent on me to share with the people my perspective on anything that is going on. We in the civil society organizations, we don't have the forces, we don't have the powers, we don't have the means to provide protection to vulnerable citizens on our land in the southern Cameroons. And therefore, when we see some danger coming, what I need to do is advise. Therefore, with respect to the Frogs Must Go campaign, my take on the whole thing is the voices are getting louder and louder. Frogs must go, frogs must go, with people from even chapels that I don't have any control over. And therefore, the safest thing for me as an opinion leader and for the civil society organizations, one of which I lead, is to advise the civilians, those concerned, run to safety. Because you don't know who picks up that call. Why do I say this? Because in the past, we have seen that out of desperation, La République du Cameroun is ready to do anything at all. La République du Cameroon's concern from 2016 to this day has been to try and demonstrate to the international community that Ambazonia is a terrorist organization. So, when this kind of campaign comes on, standing even here, I will reiterate that if you are a citizen of La République du Cameroun on our territory, you are resident in southern Cameroons, please run back home to safety. For one reason, because when these calls ring louder and louder, people like Atanga Ponji and the other operatives of La République du Cameroun will soon start throwing their heads, displaying the heads of citizens of La République du Cameroun here and there. They will be the first to take advantage and start wreaking even more horrible havoc than those who are even leading this campaign could be thinking. In my thoughts, I think those who are leading this campaign are simply even seeking to tell the people, go and wait until when this whole conflict is over. You can come back. But La République du Cameroun interpret it differently and say, this is a window of opportunity for us to use it. Bring thorough harm, serious harm to Francophone citizens on our territory who are not protected. So they use that to tell the international community, see what they are doing. So don't gamble with your life. Don't allow anyone to use your life to attain their political objectives. So it is the easier thing for me to do to tell the people run to safety than to think that I can come here and say, oh no, it is a wrong thing to say frogs must go. I don't have control over the people who are pushing this campaign. I don't even know how much forces they have that are buying into this campaign. So to be on the safe side, that's why in my broadcast of early this morning, I said, quoting Jomia Pefok, who was the then government delegate to the Bamenda City Council in 1990. He said, when two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. So consequent on this, with this raging conflict between La République du Cameroon and the restoration forces or the self-defense volunteers or the freedom fighters of the southern Cameroons, you who are caught in the middle, you will become the grass. And therefore, you can be squashed. Because I want to protect our good name, the good name of the people of the southern Cameroons, because I also want to protect your lives, that's why I will tell you, run to safety. When this whole thing is over, come back. At that time, as a free country, we already have taken all the dispositions. There will be clear conditions of entry in place. You can come back. If you want citizenship, there must be a regulation in place to govern that. And then you will live in peace. The better thing to do now, run to safety. Is the same message that I shared to militants, supporters, and sympathizers of the CPDM party, because that campaign bears the same brunt on CPDM militants who are being accused of being at the origin of the betrayals here and there. So I said, you may not be one of them. You may not be one of those who are involved in some of those things that you are collectively being accused of. But to be on the safer side, go to La République du Cameroon, where you still have the opportunity to continue militating in your party peacefully. When this whole thing is over, you come back to your country. If that party is still in operation there, you will have the opportunity to support and militate in your party in peace. But for now, my concern is to avoid civilian casualties, is to avoid unnecessary losses. That is why I say this. So I guess I'm absolutely clear on this so that we don't have any kind of confusion. And now back to our discussion. La République du Cameroon, filled right now by imminent confusion in their land, are employing several tactics at the same time. They are using a multi-pronged approach to confront us. 1, extreme brutality on our people. 2, serious divide and rule. They had tried this before, it failed, but now they have resumed it because they tell themselves they must now come with it through different triggers that can reignite the sentiment of mutual distrust between the people of the grassfield and those from the forest zone, those they call Northwest and Southwest. And that's why you see things like this one. You see this headline, the Guardian Post never published this story. This is a clone. It's a clone version of the Guardian Post. Of course, the original paper is there. If you look at the date and everything, you go there, you will see the original paper. It has completely something else on it. But now, La République du Cameroon's operatives picked this paper. They cloned it and now put this story there. You see, my trip to Bamenda. They say, moving Ambazonia capital from Boya to Bamenda. Ayabacho Likas, leader of Agopsi, declares a new policy to move the capital of Ambazonia from Boya to Bamenda. Many are already calling it the Bamenda struggle. Agopsi is one of many competing factions of Ambazonia. When you look at this, it seems innocent. Some will look at it and say, oh, it's just, no. The intention is absolutely clear. Set confusion, trigger the divide and rule sentiment once more, and set the people against themselves so that you begin using this again to weaken the resolve of the people, to break the front lines, to set mutual distrust, and as a result, the wave of betrayals will grow. I bring this here, raise it, discuss it, so that we are sensitized to the fact that this is from the enemy. I picked my phone. I called Comrade Cho Ayaba and I asked him, when did you discuss this? He said, I don't have any idea about it. I don't even know where it is coming from. It says exactly what it says. Because first of all, I didn't doubt that it was a clone. But I said, let's just watch. Could it be that there's some idea nursed like that? But again, changing the capital of a country is a thing that some countries do. We saw Nigeria move its capital from Lagos to Abuja. They definitely had reasons for doing that. But as far as Southern Cameroon is concerned, we are not even there yet. The concern we have now is liberating our homeland. And last I checked, every other leader, all activists of all liberation movements involved with the struggle to free the Southern Cameroons always refer to Boya. They always say we are heading to Boya. They always say our objective is Boya. When you see this, drop it in the garbage can. That's where it belongs. Pay no heed, pay no attention to it. They are using even people within, people that we thought yesterday were our people. They are using them to multiply the confusion among us. That is why you will find that somebody like Nijon Frundi, whose back they have pushed right to the wall and reduced to beggarly status, will even have the guts to sit here and say, I will dance with Grigor Ona's wife again and again and again. I don't know if somebody bothered about his dancing, but what we are bothered about is the useless influence that they try to have on our liberation movement. These are people to whom you have to pay no attention, no heed, zero focus on such people. Because I tell you, my people, verily, verily, a good lot of them will come. They will tell you it is in your name that they are talking. But the truth is, you and I know that they are not. They are not. There are some of them crisscrossing the world now, pretending they are coming to talk to us just to pick photo ops. So they'll gather them and go and sit somewhere and say, oh, I met this leader or that one, and we discuss about this, what we came to agreement from. Pay no heed. The time now is for us to concentrate. Is for us to focus collectively on what will take us forward. Collectively on what will take us forward. Because La République du Cameroon right now, they have been pushed to a place where they had never imagined they will be. The breaking news on this particular slot is right ahead. Don't go away. Fasten your seatbelts and let's keep going.
Would you like to make a six-figure income? Well, you have come to the right place. At Venbati LLC, we can make your dream come true by training you to become a professional Scrum Master in just 6 short weeks. You heard me right, just 6 weeks. This may be the biggest life-changing decisions you will ever make. They say luck is when opportunity meets preparation. If you were walking down the street and opportunity walked past you, would you recognize it? Well, here is an opportunity you won't want to miss. At Venbati LLC, our world-class trainers would prepare you for one of the best career changes you will ever make. And then you can consider yourself lucky when you make that 6-figure income and laugh your way to the bank. If you are that person who can recognize an opportunity, call us at 240-701-7796. Check out our website, www.venbati.com. We have limited spaces. First come, first serve. Come one, come all. Would you like to make a 6-figure income? Well, you have come to the right place.
Oh, I'm sorry about this. Great. I guess we got it off. So, my people, I like us to learn seriously from what has been happening in Bafut what happened in the BLM and what they're planning to operate in a lot of other places. If you are one of them that has been contacted, know that at the end of the day, not even your life will be spared. Let me say this, and let me reiterate it. When Judas betrayed our Lord Jesus Christ, he mistakenly thought that he was going to become friends with the people who contacted him. But as soon as he started seeing the consequences of his actions, he went back towards them. We all know how they treated him. It is the way they treated him that caused him to see that there was no point living. Because he ended up recognizing that he is not trusted even by the people who tricked him, nor will he ever be trusted by the people who were his companions yesterday. Go and do research. Spies, telltales, betrayers, they have never ever ended up being friends with anyone. Because at every point, the people tell themselves, if you betrayed the other person to me, if you have your chance, you also betray me to the next person. And so you are putting yourself in an unnecessarily bad position. Look at the reward that you get instantly. And then what you are promised. What you are promised will never come to pass. What you have already received, maybe you never even have the luck to enjoy it. That is why I take this opportunity always to warn our people. Don't allow yourself to be the conduit. Like some of those misguided ones who call themselves our senators, who call themselves our MPs, when they know that they don't have our mandate. Some of them, even as we speak, are trying to crisscross the world right now, claiming that they want to meet our people for this and that to talk, or they want to meet some of us. As far as I'm concerned, I've sent out a straight and clear message to them. Listen, this whole conflict between La République du Cameroon and the southern Cameroons is international in nature. Discussions about how to arrive at a peaceful resolution will only be around an international negotiations table with an international mediator, credible in nature and accepted across the board. So therefore, make no mistake, don't allow yourself to be a conduit. And you see, like I said, the approach that they are trying to take now is a multi-pronged approach. They will make a lot of claims, tell a lot of lies, bring in a lot of manipulation, but at the same time, exact a lot of pain on the people. This has a threefold objective. Number one, set doubt in our minds as to whether we will ever be able to attain our objective. Number three, create generalized fear to let even those who felt or were still planning to support this movement to think that it is wise to draw back. And then number three, see if they can break our tempo, break through our ranks, and see if they can reintroduce the divide and rule confusion that they had used at some point to good effect. So that is why you see that from nowhere, they are telling us that for 18 months, they have been working seriously to reconstruct the southern Cameroons. My people on ground zero, you are watching me, you are listening to me, and I know you're sharing. I want to ask you, if you have seen any of these projects, this reconstruction project going on in your community, please just use the comment section. Indicate to me because I'm watching. If you can recall anyone, but look at what they are saying. And why they are saying this, at the same time, they are also still claiming that the funds that they expect are not coming in because even France, that promised 40 billion CFA francs to that fund, has not given one CFA franc. I mean one. But you see, they say Northwest Service Reconstruction Plan, execution pursued. After all, where is it happening? In what part of the southern Cameroons? Last I checked, I've not seen anything. And I'm still looking at the comment section. I'm seeing no one is manifesting. Okay, I rather see someone saying nothing in my community. So, my people, this is not meant for us as the audience. It's meant for the international audience. And therefore, you certainly, as a result of letters, correspondences that we're sending everywhere around the world to bust them, you are likely going to receive anonymous calls from international actors trying to find out from you about what kind of development is going on in your community, what kind of reconstruction. Mine to be as frank and as clear as possible. And fear not, those callers are not keeping you or anything about you in their database. They simply want to get authentic information about what is really going on the ground compared to what they are hearing. This is very important. Very important. Don't forget. Keep this in mind. And now, I begin going closer to the subject matter of our discussion. One other side to the Frog Must Go campaign that is ongoing is also the question, what will happen to our people who are on the territory of La République du Cameroon? Even without being part of the Frogs Must Go campaign or ever knowing that it will ever come, I have used this platform constantly to sensitize our people to the effect that it will make a lot of sense to begin heading back home. If you can't go to any other neighboring country for safety, head back home. But by all means, begin planning to leave La République du Cameroon, albeit voluntarily, and also in the interest of our movement. I have this prefectural order by the prefect or the SDO of Mfundi in Yaoundé. If you don't read carefully in between the lines, you will not recognize that our people who are in La République du Cameroon are being targeted, and avenues or excuses are being provided to the security forces on a daily basis to carry out any exactions on our people, and they will go untouched because they will have excuses for doing that. You might have heard about it, but you have not seen it. This prefectural order is signed on the 12th of July, just 5 days ago. And the senior divisional officer from Fundi, he is saying, with effect from that 12th of July, the forces of law and order are being empowered to make sure that anyone seen in the city of Yaoundé moving with a bag, they just see you with a bag or with a plastic paper or whatever thing you are carrying, and they decide that you are suspicious, they will stop and search. They'll stop you and search. Watch out. They will stop you and search, and they are free to do that as per this prefectural order. They don't need any court order to do that. So you understand the level of abuses will be upped, because the security operative who shared this to me told me that they have been caught and asked to lay emphasis particularly on the neighborhoods where they know that there are a lot of Southern Cameroonians. I don't want to start quoting them because you know, if you're in Yaoundé, you know that the entire BMRC area, the Melen area, the Simbok area, the Damas area, all of those areas are the first places that they have in mind. The emirs, all of those places. If there are new places, know that they have all of these places in mind. And he also told me that they are planning to replicate the same thing in the city of Douala. So therefore, my people, be on the watch out. And that's not all that this prefectural order says. It also says that at the same time, if they just want to stop you and you're recalcitrant or disappear, they are free to manhandle you in whatever way, and they are free to justify that under what is called préparatif dangereux. It is there. You can see it there. If you see number 2, under number 2, you see it is in bold. Un préparatif dangereux. That will be considered as un préparatif dangereux. And then also, they even go as far as saying that anyone caught in Fundi division, of course, Fundi division is almost the essential of the Yaoundé, because it embodies Yaoundé 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think even up to Yaoundé 10, if it's already at 10. They say anyone caught rejoicing when the state of Cameroon is put in a difficult position will also be treated in the same manner. That is, you would have been contravening the law and you'll be treated as a terrorist. Listen carefully. This means they defeat the indomitable lions and you say, serve them right. Let them come back and do this. Someone just turns and calls the police. You, at that single moment, as I'm talking to you, you are already considered as being an enemy of the state. That's what they say here. Because they say, tout contrevenant aux dispositions de l'article 1er ci-dessus est un suspect, est également suspect toute personne qui se réjouit des difficultés de l'État ou souhaite voir l'État en difficulté. Listen, it says, that's Article 3 that I'm reading. It says that anyone that is found celebrating, expressing happiness that the state, the government of Cameroon is in difficulties, or who wishes, who expresses the desire to see the government of Cameroon in difficulties, is a suspect of being involved in what is called préparatif dangereux. This means, my people, that a new reign of terror is being planned for Yaoundé. And we, the people of the southern Cameroons, in La République du Cameroon, are going to be the first target. Listen carefully. Just for sitting to say, oh, life is so hard or not, let them face it. Oh, corruption is rife, they're not doing anything, let them face it. You are already in trouble. So, which means the interpretation is freedom of speech and of expression for you, if you're on La République du Cameroon's territory, is zero. Cancelled as per this prefectural order, signed by the senior divisional officer of Mfundi in Yaoundé. Listen, people, sometimes when I read these things, I see these things, I feel like dying of laughter. I just ask myself, are the people of La République du Cameroon still really people? And while I was contemplating this and look at it, someone joined me in expressing it. Let's all share the laughter.
Question qui est simple. Non, je ne voudrais pas la poser. J'essaye d'imaginer d'entrer dans la peau ou dans la tête du vieux Paul Biya. Vraiment, quand tu vois ton complice Cavaillé, qui n'arrive même plus à prononcer les mots, il ne s'écoute même plus. Quand tu as quelqu'un, mon frère, même à votre âge, là, quand vous vous regardez, vous ne vous dites pas que non, pas par les sons. Ouais, quelle est cette malchance? Eh bien, machin, et tout, et tout. Mais mon grand-père, mon père Paul Biya, quand tu regardes ton titre Kabaï à l'Assemblée nationale, mais à un moment donné, même la dignité des parents, des papas, c'est-à-dire que vous n'avez même pas pitié des Camerounais. Vous n'avez même, c'est-à-dire que quelqu'un qui braille là-bas, il sert encore à quoi à la République? Mais ça, il serait encore, en Europe, il serait déjà dans une crèche. Dans les maisons, vous appelez ça quoi? Les maisons de retraite là. Et tout. Chez nous, on garde encore des gens comme ça là où on arrive, voilà. Les parents, les enfants essayent de les soutenir. Mais c'est terrible quand même. C'est terrible. Mais le plus pire dans ça, c'est que comment les jeunes, comment une génération d'intellectuels, des jeunes Camerounais, des gens de 30, 40 ans, 45, Comment ils arrivent à accepter que des vieillards qui ne savent même plus prononcer, même, c'est-à-dire que même la mâchoire n'arrive plus à s'ouvrir, soit ceux qui les gouvernent. Moi, c'est vraiment, excusez-moi, hein, excusez-moi, ça me dépasse. Ça me dépasse.
I know that there are quite some of us who don't understand French. What this gentleman is saying, he's simply translating what I've been saying. This guy, he's embarrassed because he watched Kavai Yegeji. He can't talk. And he's wondering, how on earth can a country where 70% of the population are young people below 40, how on earth can they allow themselves year in, year out to be managed by this kind of people? He can't believe his eyes. He says, but this is incredible. Of course, this is why we, the people of the southern Cameroons, have said, we better leave. We better completely send this kind of people, this kind of complacent people who have no idea what power they have in their hands, who have no idea what they want for themselves. Let's part ways. They go their ways and continue honoring their mummies and continue deifying their leaders, continue doing what they want, because that is not Anglo-Saxon. Of course, we saw in the United Kingdom just a few days ago, the people couldn't stand just what they considered double standards by the prime minister, that at the time everybody was in COVID lockdown, he organized a secret party. That was enough to tell him, get out. But with La Republic, look at, day in, day out. If you don't know what this man is talking about, I know I played it before, let me refresh our minds. Take a look.
Connaît une évolution plutôt satisfaisante après le ralentissement des travaux dus à la pandémie du Covid-19.
Can you imagine? That is the Speaker of the National Assembly, third in line to be a head of state in that country. Look, my people, let me tell you, I think Paul Biya is even being considerate. If I were Paul Biya right now, I would simply declare Cameroon a kingdom. I mean a kingdom. Okay? Of course, Bourguiba did it. What's stopping Biya from doing it? The people of La République du Cameroon, all the men there are women. I don't mean to be derogatory to women, no. I'm using expression that I can say they are all lionesses, they're all falling in lionesses. Of course, don't forget, our women and women all over the world are very brave people. But what I'm saying is the people of La République du Cameroon have shown to what extent they are nonchalant, to what extent they can climb and walk on them. If I were Paul Biya today, I'll get up. There's no point even bothering that whole succession or power transition. Declare Cameroon a kingdom. And before he finishes, motions of support will be flying in from every part of the country, and then call Pierre Castel from France to open brasseries and even reduce the price of beer to about 300 francs and let everyone drink to celebrate the new kingdom. And then simply declare Frank Biya the crown prince. That's all. That's all Mr. Paul Biya needs to do. Because the citizens of La République du Cameroon, they are weaklings. They are incapable of anything. And none of them will raise a little finger. All they will do will say, Paul Biya, Paul Biya, Paul. That's all they will do. That's all they will sing. Just give them bread and sardine. That's all they are good for. That's all they need. They don't need good roads. They don't need good schools. They don't need good hospitals. They don't need good airports. No, they don't need regular potable water supply. They don't need regular energy supply. All they need is bread, sardine, and a bottle of Castel or a bottle of Trantua. That's all they need. So, Paul Biya, why kill yourself wasting time? Declare that thing a kingdom. As simple as that. That's all. That's exactly what this gentleman is saying. And I share his sentiment. Declare that thing a kingdom and, get the heck out of it. And let Frank have an easy, take and move on. That's what it is. Very embarrassing. But that is what it is. So, my people of the southern Cameroons, the news today is that in La République du Cameroon, like I announced before, and now it's clearer, the transition has started. So the news I have from my informant at the Unity Palace in Yaoundé is that Frank Biya has effectively taken power. This is what he says. Right now, in the presidential office at the 2D, the person who is more at work is Frank Biya and not Paul Biya. Did somebody hear me? I mean, the person who is sitting more in Biya's office and working, taking decisions for the state right now is Frank Biya and not Paul Biya. And Ferdinand Gongo, therefore, who is Secretary General, is charged with shadowing Frank Biya and putting him through. That is why, because this official explained to me, and he told me, you are seeing signatures being circulated there. Nobody really understands what is happening. So people think that's falsification. It is not. He says it is because for now, the son is trying to sign for the father. That is why you see on the same day, two decisions signed on the same day. You look at the signature up, look at this one down. They don't have any clear relationship. No. You can see for yourself the disparity. So he was giving this to me as an illustration. He says Frank Biya right now is at the Unity Palace on internship as president, being guided in this whole thing by Ferdinand Gongo at the instructions of Mr. Paul Biya. And for now, they are all flowing with this, with Chantal Biya, for the specific reason that they want to bid for time. And because of the massive confusion that is being feared even right at that level, even with this arrangement seemingly taking off, that is why France, ever conscious of its interest and so desirous of avoiding any serious conflict that can cause them to lose their stranglehold on La République du Cameroun and through La République du Cameroun, Ambazonia, Emmanuel Macron has finally decided to eat his own pie, to eat a humble pie, because he had decided he was not going to visit Cameroon for a long time. But now, as I announced earlier this morning, Emmanuel Macron will be in Yaoundé on the 25th and 26th of July this month. Emmanuel Macron's visit is not just a routine visit like any other one. No. It is a visit that is packed with so much work. He's going to have a lot of meetings, and he is coming with a clear plan to ensure that Frank Biya would take over from his father without any iota of doubt. And what I've also been made to understand is that just like in Chad, there's already arrangement, and there are French troops, special troops from France, are already being dispatched discreetly into Cameroon, and they will be specifically in Yaoundé to ensure, to guarantee that even if members of other forces, be it the presidential guard, be it the infantry, that appear not to want to flow with this, will not be able to have access to Frank, even if they wanted to show loyalty to any other person in the regime to bring Frank down. And again, I was amazed when this informant let me know that even right now, Paul Biya already has another layer of security around himself, not presidential guard anymore. So, initially, the last forces that you met before you get to Biya were presidential guard. But now, after presidential guard, there's another layer of forces. People have not seen a lot of these forces, and a lot of them are white people. A lot of them are white people. This tells what it tells. My people of Amazonia, I keep bringing this information to us that we know, because when we know, is going to help us tremendously. So therefore, this semi-informer explains to me that to create a distraction, that's why there's been some minor move among the security forces. And that move was strategically meant to take off some people from some places for specific reasons. So by taking Buba Dobekrio to Bamenda, the intention is to use one stone and bring down two birds. Number one, because they want to commit horrible exactions on our territory, they needed someone who hasn't a conscience, whom they actually call a killing machine, Buba Dobekrio. But, and again, like I explained before, his presence there is to make sure if, by any chance, there is some trouble in La République du Cameroun, which they anticipate when they use serious brutality on the people, they can quell it within a matter of months. That should not give an opening for the people of Ambazonia to take advantage. But at the same time, they also know that the people of the North are eyeing the presidency and have vowed that they are not ready to see any Betty man again as president in Cameroon. So taking Buba, whom they also dread, whom they know could be very useful in the hands of the Northeast in fighting the Betty hegemony. So in taking him to southern Cameroons is a distraction, is reducing the power, the force of the Northerners to be able to do what they too plan to do. I'm sharing this information just so that the Northeast in La République du Cameroon open their eyes clearly to what is being done. So they have a clear idea exactly why this move has taken place. It is not only because they need to exact pain on the people of the southern Cameroons, it's also because they fear Buba Dankrio's presence in the north at a time where there could be an insurrection. They think they may not be able to contain him. They think he is a serious actor in the plan by the Northeast. So they must occupy him somewhere at this strategic moment. And my informant says this strategic decision was proposed by France. That's why it's happening even before Emmanuel Macron arrives. And so Valenka, whom they need to play the defense for them in Yaoundé, that's why he's taken there and lodged at the War Academy in Simbok for strategic reasons. Just be around in case. My people, the point here is, if they have even just 1, 2, or 3 months to contain an uprising on the other side, that should be time enough for us to do the needful. That is why I keep talking about this. That should be time enough for us to do the needful. That is why, if you think well about our freedom, you must encourage the move by our voices in the bushes on the ground to create their own leadership on the ground and that can coordinate them, that can build coordination among them at that critical moment to seal our territory. We will not be able to take such critical decisions in a timely manner from abroad. We can't be able to do that. And so let's be realistic about this and recognize the importance of letting the voices in the bushes create their quick organization in terms of clear leadership agreement on the ground, because they need it to coordinate their actions. We must stay woke at this point in time. Don't say, I did not bring out this information when I had it and when it was most important to bring it up. This is something we must keep reminding ourselves about day in, day out, even as we maintain our focus on Boya. Never forget, let this building, this Prime Minister's Lodge in Boya, let this image never leave your mind. This is the image and the symbol of our liberation. And we must continue to fight as much as possible until we attain that objective. My dear people, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for bearing with me for the late start of this broadcast. To God be the glory.
Well, you have come to the right place. At Venbati LLC, we can make your dream come true by training you to become a professional Scrum Master in just 6 short weeks. You heard me right, just 6 weeks. This may be the biggest life-changing decisions you will ever make. They say luck is when opportunity meets preparation. If you were walking down the street and opportunity walked past you, would you recognize it? Well, here is an opportunity you won't want to miss. At Venbati LLC, our world-class trainers would prepare you for one of the best career changes you will ever make. And then you can consider yourself lucky when you make that 6-figure income and laugh your way to the bank. If you are that person who can recognize an opportunity, call us at 240-701-7796. Check out our website, www.venbati.com. We have limited spaces. First come, first serve. Come one, come all. Would you like to